Welcome back. So now we are going to retopolize the ear. So first thing that we should start to do is add a few edge loops around the ear. So we want to add, let's start off about here. So I'll add 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll shift. Try to get that along in that shape there. We'll add 2 more right there. Hold shift. 1, 2. Add that guy right there. There's number 3. Okay, so looks like that one. Let's connect these like that. And then we can just kind of move it into place. Like that. And then number 4. Let's put this guy right there. 4. If it doesn't want to go, then just bring this closer. And we can connect it right there. Put this guy a little bit lower. 1, 2. And I'll just move this closer. Sometimes it gets like that, a little weird. And then let's go 1 more right there. Okay, now let's go ahead and start working on the inner part of the ear. Hold shift, shift. That guy right there. Actually, let's get rid of this. And that one right about there. Okay. So the next step is let's go to our perspective view. If I can get in there. Okay. And look at the inside of the ear. So we want to add a few edge loops going around. So let's add 1, 2, like that. Add another one here. And then let's put this guy right about, and let's add another edge loop right in there. Put this guy right here. 1 more right about there. And there we go. Okay. Let's move this over a little bit. And let's see. I think we'll go ahead and add. Let's move this over here. If we add an edge loop there, we might kind of compromise the geometry, but let's kind of get this. Sorry, my tools don't want to seem to be working too well. It's a little glitchy. Let's get rid of this guy. And then get this point to align a little bit better. Like so. Okay. And I think we're good for now. Let's kind of move this guy down a little bit more. We can hold shift to relax it a little bit here. And then let's go ahead and add another edge loop right about here. Let's grab that point, move it there. Okay. It's all right so far. Let's move this guy down. And then let's add a point here. A point there, hold shift. Hold shift to connect these two guys. Let's do that, and then take this one, drag it over. Now we'll start to add a little bit more resolution in this guy, so hold control, add one about right there. And then let's go ahead and add one here, there, and right there. And then we can curve this guy down a little bit, like this. And then let's add another point right along here. And let's add another one here. Right there. One right there. Okay. Let's see. We'll add another one right along this edge. Just kind of moving around a few of these edges to kind of match the contour of the ear. I'll click here, hold shift for that shape, and then I'll hold control to add an edge loop here. Let's put another one right there. Let's put this on the outer edge here, like that. Get this guy work its way around the outer lobe of the ear. And then a few others coming around like that. Okay, not too bad. Just want to put this point right there along the inside of the ear. Oops. Okay. Now let's add another point there. And move this guy over. And let's begin connecting. So hold shift. Hold shift there. And right there. And then you do the same thing right here. Hold shift. And kind of get this guy to move over here a little bit. So I didn't mean to add that little point there. So just press Control Z, hold Shift, and move this guy right there. Move this point over. And I think I might have to add another edge loop right here. Kind of smooth it out a little bit. Or relax. So now we just got finished relaxing those particular faces. Let's go back to the ear and bring this guy down like so. Hold shift to connect that piece there. And then we'll kind of drag that down like that. Okay. Now let's work on the back side of the ear. Okay. And I'm just gonna drag this particular edge over. Hold shift to connect. Connect that guy. And you can see it's pretty straightforward once you get to a section like this. So align these two. Add one here. Connect those. And it's really just the same exact pattern all the way through. So let's go ahead and jump on down to the bottom of the ear after we close this one up. And I think after you guys have done this for so long, you can maybe foresee some of the next moves. And as you look at your geometry, as I just looked at that particular area, we probably want that to be right along the ear shape there. Okay, let's get this right in that crease. And okay. So now we have that shape. We should probably close this off right about there. And with that guy right there, let's add a point here. Hold shift. There we go. Right, not too bad. It's pretty straightforward. And I think you understand probably where we're going next with that shape. Okay, but before we continue to work here, I definitely want to move a little bit of these edges around, vertices. Let's kind of work up through this way before we get a little bit too tied up in this section. So I'm going to hold tab, or we can click points like this. Hold shift. Add another one right there. And kind of work our way through. Right? And of course, we want our edges to look nice and organized, so you can hold shift if you want, like I just did, to relax that. Okay. Now another way of doing exactly what we just did here, I've done it before. If we hold tab, we can drag it over like this, kind of get this edge to align with that vertical edge underneath the edge, underneath the ear, being a little redundant. And let's take that point and move it over. So if we look at this from our side view, like here, sometimes it might be a little bit easier to relax some of these edges. You can always keeping in mind the shape that we're trying to form. So I'll bring this guy on the inside of the ear, take this edge and bring it a little bit closer. And you can see there's some clipping right here, so let's kind of Control Z. Let's take that point and let's go back into our perspective. Okay, and later on we're going to smooth it out. Now we're going to bring this guy up. I kind of think that adding the green dots or vertices is a little bit easier, a lot easier than having to extrude, because I can place them wherever it is I want. Now let's go ahead and bring this guy around. I want to change the angle of this because I know that this edge should lead into here. All right, but let's take a look at this shape. Okay, let's click here, hold shift, click there, hold shift, and then close that off. And I want to, let's see, maybe we can, oops. And so we have a few extra edge loops going along here, and it's quite all right. However, probably could do this. Okay, and that's a quad, obviously. And let's bring this edge a little bit closer to the inside of the ear. And the purpose of this is so that I can get these guys to connect. So if I hold shift, that's the shape I get. Okay, and now I can simply click here, hold shift, bring that up, hold shift and bring that guy up like this. And kind of bring this down a little bit more. There's a lot of geometry right there, so let's try to help it out. Okay, so I think that's pretty decent. All right, we're going to click here, hold shift, and I'll change the angle of that. I'll click here, hold shift, kind of get this to follow that angle. Hold shift to go there. And now I'm just going to, I guess, move in a circular pattern. So I will click right here, hold shift. I'll click here, hold shift. Let's look in that area. Almost there. And then I'll just, sometimes I just create like a quad like this. And then connect it. And then I'll click right there, drag it down. Let's see. All right. I'll put this right here. And we'll add another edge loop and kind of keep on working in a circular pattern until we get all the way down to the inside of our ear. So just like that. I guess I could hold shift to create that shape, which wouldn't be a bad idea. And we'll continue with that circular shape. So I'll click 2 points here. Let's click like that. Click another point, go here. Go around. Like there. And again, it's just pretty much repeating the same shape over and over and over. Close this off like that. Excuse me. Clear my throat. And I'm just organizing these edges, as you can see, and vertices so that they all lead to the inside of the ear. Okay, let's just add another edge ring around here. So this 1 point, hold shift, and then add another point. Oops, a little bit too close. Let me bring that away from there. Like that. Kind of change the angle up. Move these guys around. There we go. And let's add a point here. Hold shift. Like that. And there we go. Awesome. Now I'm just going to take these two and kind of connect it right there. And we can continue this flow all the way down, but I don't think we really need to. And for the sake of time, it'll be easier just to like close it off. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And of course, right now, as you can see, I'm just holding shift and relaxing some of those edges. Okay. And I'll hold shift to do that. I'll hold shift to, there's my quad. Right. Let me just add a point. and then drag that guy down, and then let's add a point here. Come on. Take this here, and there's a triangle. Just find it's on the inside of the ear. It's not a big deal. But if we wanted to totally avoid that, I'm not opposed to adding an edge loop right down the center of the ear to give that little bump. And then you could see inside of the ear that becomes a quad, right? Now what we can do, and I would actually call this finished, right? If you really wanted to, you could just get rid of all of those guys. There's your quad. There's your quad. Come on. Sometimes it's a little fidgety. So I just add a point here. And then kind of connect it. And then there's your quad. See? Okay. So we are finished with the ear. Definitely happy with the results. You guys can, go in through here on your own time and relax some of these edges, especially since we added a new one around the face right there. There's one other thing I wanted to mention, and that's obviously finishing the model. So if you want to bring this all the way down, which I think I will. Okay, so now that the ear is finished, we are going to work around our neck. So let's go ahead and take this edge and I'll bring it all the way out here. Bring this guy all the way out there, like so. And of course, we've got some extra edge loops in the back of the head, so we'll go ahead and relax those guys, just up and down, left and right. And it really does help me, especially when I've got this tight area in the back of the neck. I'll hold tab, bring this guy straight down like this. Continue to work our way around. And if you wanted to, just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And create quads. Hold shift. Kind of relax these. There we go, looking much better. Okay. All right. And a similar method that we use right here, I'm going to do that under the neck. Why am I doing that? Well, you don't necessarily have to. I just want to lower some of the count, the polygon count on the neck. And it's not a whole lot. And I probably should bring that down just a little bit more. So I'm just going to step back a few steps. I'll extrude it again, right there in the middle of the neck. I don't know the name of that, so I do apologize. I'll add a point right down the center. Kind of round this guy off. Now we are going to need to add an edge loop through the side of our necks, like right about here. So I'll hold Control, click and drag to connect it, and we can simply extrude this guy down like so. And of course, the geometry doesn't look ideal about now. So, of course, go ahead and relax these guys. Okay. Again, just a vertical and horizontal movement. Get the shape that we want. Okay. And that looks good. Again, you could spend a little bit more time doing this. I don't want to, again, just kind of bore you guys with remedial things. So let's bring this down. Bring it all the way down here. Bring this all the way down. And oops, undo. I'll go ahead and we'll add an edge loop in there later. Definitely want to make sure that the edges are kind of in the same position. All right, this one doesn't want to move. There we go. Same kind of angle there. Now it almost looks like a breastplate, chest plate, some kind. And let's bring this guy here. Connect that on over. And I'm not going to smooth it out just yet, otherwise I'll get some unwanted stretching going on. Smooth this like that. Get that angle to follow. Almost there. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and speed this part up. Okay, so now we have this. What we can do is hold Control, add 1, 2, 3 edge loops in there, and hold Shift to relax this shape. And yeah, it's just about it. Just in case you wanted to animate this character, I wouldn't close the lips. I would actually create an esophagus. So let's go ahead and look inside of our character's mouth. Right mouse click and hold, go to edge, double click this edge, and I'm going to fix a few vertices and edges before I get ready to extrude. So let's kind of straighten that out. And all right, so double click this edge, and I'll go into my side view for now. As a matter of fact, I'll just click on my low res mesh, hold Control 1 to isolate it, and I'll zoom in a little bit closer to the lips, see a vertex I want to fix. Okay. Now we could take this edge, I'll press 4, and there's one more vertex. I think that's fine. Okay. So edge, Control E, I'll press W, I'll bring it back, and I'll scale it that way. I'll look at it in the front view. Again, we'll just click the low res mesh, press Control 1. Here's my edge, and that looks fine. I'll just kind of scale it together a little bit. Control E, press W, move it back this way. I'll press R and begin to scale it up like that. I'll press W and get it to look like this. Now we'll go back inside just to make sure that our edges and everything look fine. We could go ahead and just make it flat right now. So I just scaled it flat this way in my x-axis, and then I'll take this edge, flatten it out, and now this is going to be, a little bit of thickness on our character's lip. Okay. Scale it up a little bit. Now press Control E, press R, and I'll scale it wider and then higher this way. Now you want to press W to make sure that you're not clipping at the edges. So right now I'll go ahead and click these guys, the corner of the mouth, and drag it up, bring this guy down, hold shift to bring this guy down as well. Later on, what we're going to do is actually take this mesh and then use our relax tool. So try not to worry about getting it to look too nice. Bring it back like this. Okay. All right. Let's go back into our side view. And then I think I want to take this edge here and just scale it up a little bit bigger. Like that. Yeah, that looks a little nicer. And then just kind of take this vertex, bring it down. So after like the first edge loop going on the inside of the lip, it should look, it should be easier. Okay, back to our side view, Control E, press W, I'll move it back, and I'll press R, scale it up wider, press Control E, W, move it back, scale it up wider, and I'll press W to bring it up because the roof of your mouth, let's turn off our grid, the roof of your mouth is higher, and our teeth actually sit a little bit behind our lips. So we have the thickness of our lips, and then there are the teeth that sit right behind there. So make sure that there's plenty of room. Let's do that. Control E, W to move it back. Press R, scale it up. I'll go inside and kind of make it a little bit wider. I'll make this one a little bit wider, like so. Okay. And then just kind of getting it closer to the cheeks, especially if you wanted to add like subsurface scattering and light kind of passing through the character's head, then you get that really thin part around the cheeks, and should look pretty nice in your character's model. That's if it was like, 3-point lighting or backlit. Okay, so this is the last time that we'll make it wider. Bring it back. I'll press R, and you can see how like my move tool is no longer on this edge. So what I'll simply do is go to, my scale tool. I'll double click on the settings and go to reset, and now it's back where it needs to be, at least for the most part. It's not there, so I'll hold D, V, just snap it right to the center. Press R, scale it down, press E, rotate it, move it down. So this is going towards the back of the mouth, like this, and then rotate it I'm just going to keep this open because it doesn't want to act right. And then this will be the last extrude going straight down. Okay, and that's it. So last thing we want to do is click on the quad draw tool, hold shift, and begin to add the relax tool. Now I'm actually going to add another division right in here. Hold control. And begin to relax these guys so it looks nice and smooth. The inside of the lip. And no one's really going to see, you know, inside of your character's mouth unless it's like I don't know, you want to do some sort of animation there. But that's pretty much it. So inside the mouth is not very hard to begin modeling. You just have to, well, let's kind of do this. Get the shape to look pretty basic in the beginning, and then, like I said, everything else will fall into place. So that's it. The next tutorial will be UV mapping, and once we UV map, we'll bake the low-res map onto the high-res map. The high-res map onto a low-res map and texture. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.